Shopping is my version of therapy. Shopping is my hobby. Retail therapy is the best therapy. I only feel happy when a package is on the way. These are all phrases I have said to myself being in an active shopping addiction. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I have been avoiding reality a bit too much lately and more so staying in the retail world. And by that, I mean, I think I have a shopping addiction. So in today's video, I want to dive in about my shopping addiction. We're going to touch on two different subjects, like how it started, how we got here to today, and kind of what was the breaking point for me. I know this can be a serious subject for a lot of people. It is a very serious topic. We're going to try to keep it lighthearted and fun here today, but also keep in mind this is something that can be financially damaging. This can be something that is damaging to families. So just keep that in mind. Luckily, I'm very blessed that my shopping addiction has not gone that far. Luckily, I've paid off all my debt and stuff, but I really just want to talk about today how it can happen so quickly and how it can happen without you even knowing. If you do like this type of content, make sure you comment down below what other type of shopping addiction videos you would like to see, or even videos related to overconsumption, underconsumption, all the different TikTok trends these days, how social media is fueling the overconsumption in our world, and maybe how to stop shopping, things like that. I know in the future I want to create like no buy videos, low buy videos, things I'm avoiding buying, talking about finances, all that sort of stuff. As someone who loves shopping, this is going to be a big journey for me, so I would love if you guys would follow along. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe down below, and let's hop into the video. So the first topic we're going to be discussing is how I got addicted to shopping. And that is honestly embarrassing to say. Shopping can be so addicting without you even realizing it. I am 25 years old, and my shopping addiction started when I was 16 when I got my first job. So let's go back in time to when I was 16 and I got my first job. So I had just turned working age in Texas, and I was looking for a job around town. I got hired as a hostess at a seafood restaurant, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. As someone who loves chatting with others and very outgoing, it was just the perfect thing for me. I love greeting people, taking them to the table, so it was a really good time. This is around 2015, 2016, and at the time, Texas minimum wage was $7.25 an hour. So this just goes to show no matter if you're making minimum wage or if you're making $100K a year, a shopping addiction can take form in many different ways. So that is something I would be on the lookout for. It affects anyone, whether you have no money left or you have an abundance of money. Just keep that in mind. I remember getting my first paycheck. I think I had only worked, I hadn't worked a lot of hours because it is your first paycheck and taxes get taken out. I was shocked how much taxes got taken out. I'll never forget that. But I do remember I got $300 on my first paycheck, and I was like, okay, this is exciting. Let's go online and do some shopping. During this time, YouTube was very popular. The popular YouTubers, I think, were Jake Paul, Logan Paul, I think even Bethany Moto was still making videos, Steal a Babe 09. It was those classic beauty YouTubers, the West Coast LA influencers. I was very easily influenced, as any teenager is, and I was looking at American Apparel, Urban Outfitters, all of these different types of stores. I remember going online and seeing a really cute pair of jeans I liked, but they were $200, and I was like, I'm making minimum wage. How am I gonna afford a pair of $200 jeans? I'm gonna have to work how many hours is that? 20 hours to get a pair of jeans? And that's even before taxes. So I was literally gonna have to work almost full time to make a pair of jeans work. And as a 16-year-old, I was like, heck no, that's not gonna work for me. Something in that moment, I don't know what it was, it clicked in my head that if I got more items, or I didn't want to have to work that much to get a pair of jeans. So something in my head clicked that if I went bargain shopping, or got my stuff from Walmart, or let's say got it from Old Navy, something like that, something cheaper, the more stuff I could get, the better. I don't know what it was in that moment, but something in my head was just the more items equal the better. I do kind of think it's from haul culture back in the early 2010s. The more bags, the better. That was always something that I loved. I thought by getting tons of stuff, it would equate to happiness. All these YouTubers, all these vloggers looked so happy with all the stuff in the bags they had, but that is so far from the truth. But that's kind of where my shopping addiction began at 16. What I didn't know at the time was 9 years later, I am 25 years old now, is that the amount of stuff you have does not equate to the happiness that you can feel in your life. Just because you have 1,000 items, 1,000 makeup brushes, 1,000 blushes, that does not equal happiness. Happiness has to be found from hobbies, actually doing stuff, people you love in your family, and of course, find that happiness in yourself. Keep in mind, this is I'm junior, senior in high school. I am this is probably like 2016, 2017. I love shopping. So I was working full time. I was like, woohoo, the more money I make, the better. Your girl can go shopping every week. Shopping was my favorite form of hobby. Like, I loved it. It was like I could get some alone time to myself. I could relax. I could do whatever I want. And if I wanted something, I could buy it. It was kind of like a way of control. Like, hey, this is something that I can do. If I work hard, I can go buy something. I can make the money. So it was just very satisfying to buy whatever I want when I want. I was like never deprived as a child. Like, my parents very much spoiled me. So it's nothing like that. It's just, I really just love shopping. During this time, I was making a little bit more money. I had been promoted to a to-go host. So I was making lots more money. I was making tips. The hourly wage wasn't that much better, but the tips helped a lot. So I was able to shop a bit more. So I would say probably like every other weekend, you know, I'm going to high school during the week. I work after school, and then some weekends I would work, some weekends I wouldn't. I would say 9 times out of 10 though, I would work, but I would have either like a Saturday or a Sunday off. And during those days, I would go shopping. I would go to the town next over, which had the bigger mall. It had an Ulta. Oh my gosh. I remember when Ulta opened. That was very bad for my credit card. So I would go to Target, Old Navy, the mall. Like, I was starting to get into the more expensive stores. There was one boutique in particular, I was dropping at least $300 every time I went there. Like, it was bad. I would come home with bags and like show my parents like, who wants to see my hauls? And they're like, oh my God. And so I remember that a lot. Throughout college, I had eventually quit that serving job. I was working 2 jobs at one point. I worked at Cane's. I also worked at our campus recreation, different things like that. I was making a little bit more money. I also had started living on my own, and different trends were coming along in the trend cycle, of course. We had YouTubers like Emma Chamberlain getting a bit more popular, and with that came thrifting. For me, thrifting was a new avenue that I could shop. I would feel less guilty about it because I'm like, well, it's secondhand, and also I could get more items. It goes back to the thing that clicked in my head when I was 16, like, it's cheap, I can get more items, I can get more stuff, and I can be happy. I can show everyone that I have all these amazing bags, all these fun things to show for. And that was another loop that I fell into, the shopping loop of more things, more items, yay! So eventually after college, I moved into the big city, into the Dallas Metroplex, and I'm from a very small town. So moving up to the big city was super exciting for me. Like, there's all of a sudden all these malls. The one thing in the Dallas Metroplex, there is like a billion malls, a million shopping centers. Like, that was super exciting. I remember when I was little, we'd have to go like an hour away to go to the huge mall. I literally lived, my backyard was a mall. Like, that is how close the mall was to me when I moved up here. So I definitely, you know, living on my own, money was a bit more tight, but I still found a way to fuel my shopping addiction, even though money was a bit more tight from moving on my own. I had found a store up here called Miss A, and if you know what Miss A is, or even if you don't, basically it is a dollar store for makeup, for random items, bracelets, scrunchies, jewelry, makeup, rings, like just kind of like random stuff that you really don't need. Or it's like good if you do need something and you're on a budget, but I was buying things I didn't need. I was buying like all these beauty blenders, buying all these makeup brushes. I have already had so much makeup brushes, so many eyeshadows, so many blushes. Like I said, I've started collecting makeup since I was 16, so I didn't need any more of this. Every time I'd go shopping, I'd spend like $30 to $50 at these stores, and I was going like 2 to 3 times a week. That's like $150, and I was like kind of broke at the time, so that money could have went towards savings, could have went towards a grocery bill, like something way more important. And just, it goes back to more items equals happiness, woohoo! Also during this time, I was very much into Shein. This is like 2020, 2021, and Shein was the biggest thing. And like, I remember COVID was happening at that time, and I was like, I'm gonna experiment with my style. Y'all, your girl dyed her hair black, and black is not my color. I look very pale. I know I look a little bit more tan right now. Just got back from the beach. But black is not my color. I'm super, super pale, and doesn't match my complexion. But I remember, if you guys remember like the 2020 trends, like crazy colors, like weird patterns, like almost kind of like gothic emo in a way, I had just started dressing differently, and I was like, I'm gonna order all these styles on Shein, and I can pick any style out the week I want. I can be preppy one day, gothic the next. Like, I was ordering so much stuff. I'll never forget, there was one time I ordered a Shein haul, $450, and I afterpaid it. Yeah, that's how you can see how bad I was managing my finances. Like, why are you afterpaying a Shein haul? You should not be doing that. First of all, you do not need $450 worth of clothes. And like, that's like 30 items from Shein. 30 items to your closet at one time is insane. Basically, you can just imagine my apartment was a hot mess, my finances were a hot mess, my outfits were a hot mess. It was bad. So let's say it was around a year later, I finally had gotten my first corporate job, and money was coming in. Money was good, things were going great. I was getting into a bit more of an expensive style. I was starting to lean into TJ Maxx. I I know TJ Maxx isn't expensive, but for me at the time, okay, I was like 21 years old. I graduated college pretty early, so I was only like 21, 22, and I was going to TJ Maxx, Sephora. Sephora was a big thing for me. Oh my God, when I started shopping at Sephora and Lululemon, that's when I knew I was like, oh dang, this is kind of getting out of control. Basically any store you could think of, like Altered State also, if you know anything about Altered State, I love their dresses, but man, they are expensive. So I was really getting into every store in the Metroplex that you could find. Keep in mind, this went on for probably about 2.5 years to where we're at right now in 2025. Basically, my shopping addiction didn't stop. Like I was going to Lulu, Altered State, all the stores, and it just kind of continued. So let's fast forward to where we are about, let's say 6 months ago. This is about August or maybe June, July 2024. I had hit $10,000 in credit card debt, and I was like making pretty good money at the time. Like there was no reason for me to be in that amount of debt. I'll say that. Like there was no reason. It was just straight up poor money management. And something clicked in me, like seeing that number, I was like, if I don't stop now, like what's stopping me from spending another 10K? So I'm very blessed in that moment that God had like showed me like, whoa girl, you need to stop spending money. Like what is happening? Because if I had all that money right now, could you imagine? I could probably buy a house. Like I literally have $30,000 worth of makeup over here probably. Like I'm not even kidding. That could be a down payment on a house. But something about seeing that $10,000 on my credit card, knowing how much money I was making, it didn't sit right with me. I was like, ooh, this is giving very irresponsible. All the frivolous spending had gotten to me. I had moved in with my now husband, and all the stuff was like crowding around and starting to make me feel very anxious. My house was looking like a store. When my friends came over, she's like, this looks like a TJ Maxx. And I was like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. Like things like that slowly started to happen and add up where I was like, okay, I don't want to live like this anymore. Basically anything you can imagine, home decor, candles, those little spray Germaxes, anything like that you could imagine. Obviously, I was very much into TikTok at the time, and still am to this day. And I had found an influencer named Bradley on a budget, and I finally was influenced in the right direction. So I feel like seeing his videos slowly made me realize like, hey, whoa, like we need to slow down spending. So that was something else that helped me at the time. And one of his tips that I loved was, if you feel like spending money, go pay a bill off, or go put that money in savings. Like the amount you're gonna spend, put that in savings. And I got addicted to seeing the amount go down, and I slowly paid off my debt. So that was beautiful. So the past 6 months, I paid off like $10,000 in shopping debt. And yeah, it's just crazy to think that it had gotten that much to 10,000. Like that is really high. During this time also, I had started putting money in savings. But just like that, a shopping addiction doesn't really die down that easily. If you go cold turkey, you're probably gonna have some other issues pop up. So during this time on TikTok, Dollar Tree hunts were really like trending. Like, let's go look for the new viral Germaxes at Dollar Tree. Let's go look for a new viral item. And I got really into the hunt. Like, I need to go to every Dollar Tree around here and see what I can find. And living in the Dallas Metroplex, there's tons of Dollar Trees. So I would go to multiple Dollar Trees in a day. Like, I would go on my lunch break. Like, I love shopping on my lunch break. And yeah, that was pretty bad. Every time I go to Dollar Tree, I probably spend minimum like $15, which doesn't sound like a lot. But if you're going every single day, that's like what, $75 in a week, probably more with what I was spending. You're also accumulating so many items around your house. It was definitely a little concerning. That probably has stopped within the past month. Yeah, so to be fully honest, I stopped probably about a month ago going to Dollar Tree like that, just because I realized like I don't need all this stuff. I have so much stuff around here. Why am I buying the dupes? I have the real things. I don't need dupes. Like, and if I did, you know, run out of the real stuff, maybe then I can buy a dupe. But like, I don't need it right now. So it's just something I'm working through and trying not to buy so much items, because that stuff adds up quick. Like, my house should not look like a store. One thing that I will admit, which is kind of embarrassing, but since January, beginning of the year to now, I've spent around $1,000 in shopping. Most of that has been on makeup. Sephora in particular just had their Sephora sale. Ulta had a big sale, and it was around $1,000. I will say I felt really guilty about it. And so like my brain is changing patterns where I'm like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be, you know, spending this much. And I returned about $300 worth of it. But it just goes to show, like, over time, your brain can realize like, hey, this isn't good, but it is going to take a while to fix. I think my brain is slowly realizing like I don't need all this stuff, which makes me happy. This is going to be a long process of healing and realizing, you know, happiness doesn't come from the items, the amount of stuff, but it comes from hobbies and other people and from yourself and just your family. So it's going to be a big, long journey on healing this shopping addiction, but I'm excited to see what progress you can make throughout the rest of the year. Shopping has been my biggest hobby for nearly a decade of my life, so it's going to take a little bit of challenge challenging myself, giving myself grace. It's also gonna take showing myself that, hey, I don't need to buy every new makeup product that comes out. All of this to say is shopping addiction is something that can happen overnight, or it can happen over a decade. It really can spur up any time in your life, whether it be stress, trying to feel in control, just having fun, viewing it as a hobby, all of those things. It makes me sick to think I've spent like $30,000 in makeup, probably more than that over the past 10 years. Like that money, like I was saying earlier, could go towards a house, could go towards, having a baby, anything like that. So it kind of makes me sick to think about. Retail therapy is not real therapy. I will say that much. So thank you guys for watching this video. I do know I have some more exciting videos coming up. I want to do like a low buy, no buy, things I'm not buying, financial videos, budgeting, how to stop shopping, consumerism and overconsumption, how it's running rampant these days, especially with TikTok leaning into it. Even myself, I film a lot of TikTok haul videos, but that is something that I'm working on, and I would love to do Project Pan videos with y'all. Just let me know what you would like to see. But thank y'all so much for watching this video. It means a lot. Comment, like, and subscribe down below, and let me know what you want to see next, or your thoughts on shopping and how a shopping addiction can just kind of happen and it can be life ruining. So thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Mwah. Bye.